Yep.
So do you like to work with buyers or sellers? What's your favorite? Or do you like both?
I like both. I'd work a fair amount with both. It goes through cycles, but
Yeah.
I would say I probably like listings, and sellers better. I really like marketing, just like ball guy right here.
Yeah.
And,
We've always got along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so it's I like the challenging of it. So although right now you don't have to market a home very much,
Right, right.
but back in the day, we'll
Yeah.
call it, you actually had to like put some strategic effort into marketing the house.
Yeah.
And I mean, you don't have to, but as a good agent, you should.
Yeah.
And so, and even just I like the challenge of it. And so, especially with social media and things like that, there's all these things you can do now versus just putting a sign in the front yard.
Yeah.
I personally really like the marketing side of things. So I think that's why I like sellers a little bit more.
So if you had to give one piece of advice to a listing or a seller right now, what would that be? And you have to look in that camera and tell it.
If I had to give advice to a seller right now, it's to price the house competitively and have realistic expectations. I mean, you will net a large amount of money, but if you price it too high, you're actually going to end up with less money.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, and that's a big thing that you hit on is that pricing strategy is so important. And people
huge.
go, and when sellers don't have that marketing mindset, they go, "Oh, you're just trying to sell my house for less." It's like, well, no, watch.
Yeah.
Well, hold my beer, watch.
Yes,
right?
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Or my grape juice. Because if you do it right, there's certain price points in the way that people search and understanding consumer
100%.
behavior and
Yeah.
where they're going to be at in the price point. Because people will get approved for one thing, but they shop below that.
Yep.
But then when they find that house, they quickly go back up
up
to
to it,
to that
exactly.
max kind of thing. So you got to know how to play that game.
Exactly, yeah. And it's, I mean, that's, and even, I mean, this market especially, but it's always been the case of that where you have to, the pricing strategy. And there are several different pricing strategies to go with, but you need to pick one and stick with that strategy. I feel like a lot of agents try to blend some, and it just
Doesn't
know
work.
bad.
what's
It doesn't
going
work. But I've always liked the idea of pricing it not below value, but at market value right there to generate the interest. And then, because the market will always dictate what the home is worth. I mean, the home doesn't matter. I could price a home at $5 right now. Literally, guess what? Am I going to get an offer for $550 if it's worth $550? Yeah. I mean, that's just but I could also price it at $600. And am I still going to end up with an offer at $550 if the home's worth $550?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, or somewhere close to there.
Or probably less because you're going to be
probably
chasing down the price.
Because
Yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah.
doing price reduction and be on the market for 30 days. But if we price it at not $5, but say 500, right? If we price it below, you end up having maybe 5, 10, 15 offers. 15 is a lot, but that's coming down now. But even still, if you have 5 options versus 1 option, sure, you're at the same number or close to the same number, but now we have 5 other terms to review and see who's the most qualified. Because that one you get over here might not necessarily make it to the finish line.
Right.
For this, we've got some options and some negotiating power.
Yeah.
And when a client has options, that's when they have the power. So
Correct.
that's good.
Exactly.
And your job is to give them the options.
Exactly.
Yep.
So that's where I like the strategy of coming in, not way overdoing it and pricing it at the extreme high top end of it, because I'd rather have more options and the numbers are going to come up higher anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people get into the business. They go, "Oh, it looks so easy on TV," but then you get into it, and it's like, okay, you got to do sales, you got to do analysis of comparables and just what's going on. You got to understand the contract, so you got to have some legal background. You got to have that marketing hat. You got to have a psychologist, counselor, soft touch to it because you get those calls at 11:30 at night when they're going to Tennessee and they get rear-ended. You got to have a fine touch. You can't just be like, "Not my problem," hang up. You got to walk them through that
we
emotionally.
are problem solvers.
Yeah.
We are problem solvers. That is our job, is to problem solve and keep the deal together and moving forward.
That's why I usually just stop, collaborate, and listen.
Sounds like a song.
Yeah.
It's just sound advice. Sound advice by a wise philosopher.
Right?